Welcome everyone to part 2 of my Tony Robbins training. I apologize, last week my Wi-Fi failed me, but we have a new Wi-Fi box, so there is not going to be the same problem. Last week we went through mindsets and business training with Tony Robbins, and I asked you some really deep questions that lead you to think more into why you self-sabotage and why you're not getting past those blocks. So if you haven't already watched that, it's on my YouTube. It's part 1, and this is part 2. So I want us all to take a big yoga breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we're going to start deep today. I'm going to start with a question I ended last week on, which is, when you failed to achieve what you wanted, why did you fail? Now, there is no real failure, but when it comes to when we decide a goal and we want to go for it, what blocks, what limiting beliefs, what circumstances did you use as your excuse not to achieve that? I do this a lot. So I want us to start with this question. When you failed to achieve what you wanted, why did you fail? You can be so honest with yourself here. This is between you and you. If you want to share, the chat is always open. This is something that the more we can tune in on what our personal issues are for not getting where we want, we're going to unblock those. So it's important that we can deeply look into this for ourselves. I know a lot of mine are to do with my fear of actually being great. I'm comfortable where I am, you know? That's why I've been comfortable at Green Diamond for a year now. I've been green for a year and I haven't moved up because it's been very comfortable, but now it's go time. So what are our fears? Love the dramatic church music.
Yeah.
When we don't have enough in a fire, sometimes we blame resources, right? Everyone's been this, you know, blame the upline, blame the company, blame the Wi-Fi, blame my environment. Yes, they all have a factor. They can all have a factor, but despite all of that, I've seen, you know, Brandon Ashoden go from homelessness to a crown leader in this company. There's Devin, who just had a baby and just hit director. There's Kevin, who just had a baby. Kiev, who just hit, not Kevin. Kevin didn't have a baby. Kiev just had a baby and hit diamond this month. What's our excuse? You know, when you want something enough, we can't blame resources anymore. We need to look within us. So much as it's triggering to hear, it's also empowering to hear. So write this down, share this with your teams if they're not here. When you failed to achieve what you wanted, why did you fail? If you want to share anything, the chat is open. This is a no judgment zone. This isn't for me to call you out or say, oh, this is for you to be able to understand. And this is a gift that Tony gave us. Like, we get to really look deeply into this. So anyone can get resources if they're resourceful. Kimberly Sanders, she didn't have an upline, so she searched every single team till she found us and Alison and Jared. She didn't let it stop her. She's Black Diamond. Failure is never a lack of resources. It's a lack of resourcefulness. Solution finders. Our Wi-Fi was shit. We found a solution. Our Wi-Fi shit one day. We go and work in a cafe. It's never lack of resources. It's lack of resourcefulness. Ooh, we can't blame anyone. We can't blame anything. It's we have enough fire within us to do anything. Okay. I don't want us to disempower ourselves. Our biggest resource is human emotion. That's the biggest one we have. We always have that to tap into. So creativity, commitment, determination, certainty, flexibility when things change, connection, compassion, and vision. They're free and we can always generate that. And we see this. If you want to change your world, change your inside world first, which is why we are blessed that we have Purium. Because this helps us to change our internal world as we're building a business. We're so lucky to have what we have. If we want to change our world, we change our internal world. Decide on your new emotional home. Now, our emotional home, I went into in part 1. So do go back, watch part 1, show it to your brand partners. We got very deep in that too. And then we're going to go over. Now, if you haven't finished answering this question, don't worry. You can do it in your own time. But the quality of your life is where you live emotionally. So last week we talked about, do we focus more on what we have, or do we focus more on what we don't have? That's the kind of person that you are, but you can change that. If you want to live more in gratitude, then you can make that decision. If you always focus on the lack of, like, I'm 1,000 volume away from blue diamond, and I'm like, damn it, I don't have the structure. I need structure. But instead of focusing on how annoying it is that I'm not going to hit it, I'm going to focus on how damn amazing it is that I'm 1,000 volume away from blue diamond. We get the choice, we have the choice always. And now I want us to go even deeper with some questions. So this is number one. What does an extraordinary life look like to you? What does an extraordinary life look like to you? It may not be to everyone else, but what's your idea of your extraordinary life? Get detailed. I want to hear, feel it, see it. I want to get as detailed as the hair on your skin standing up. What is an extraordinary life look like for you? Paint that picture. This is all about building the why that you're going to need. Give you a few minutes to listen to that. Well, listen within. You can revisit these every month, like your action plan worksheet, like your why worksheet. The more, the better. Every month, drilling it into what you deserve, what you want. So what does an extraordinary life look like for you? It could change. Certain things might never change. And then add on this bit. What does an extraordinary life look like to you at the next level? What's still left to go to get you to that extraordinary life? Hi, Amanda. Ooh, I can taste it. When I filled this out, I got my notes. We were weeping because I wanted it so bad. Like, get into that state where you want it so bad. You can see it. You can see your best self in you in that extraordinary life. That's about what this is about. Believe it before you see it. Key mindset strategy. Epic music. Because remember that fear and faith are both made up. So choose. Fear and faith, they're both imaginary things. So we get to decide, are we going to live a life of fear and deciding to hone into that, or are we going to live a life of faith, believing that anything is possible? They're both options that you can choose from. So what kind of person are you going to be? Does a leader choose fear, or does a leader choose faith? This makes you a better leader when you make these active decisions first. People have permission to follow you. Amazing. Remember, you can always add on to this. And if anyone wants to share anything, the chat is open. I like it, manifesting together. I want to take this to the second one. Second question. So now you've got a picture of your extraordinary life. 2, this is even deeper. How are you preventing it? What is stopping you from making it happen? Come on, go deep here. How are you preventing it? No one else is preventing it. No other external forces are preventing it. Only you are. So what is stopping you making it happen? What a gift this is to give yourself so that you can figure this out. How are you preventing it? What is stopping you from making it happen? This might be really easy for you. It might take a lot of thinking. You might have to meditate on this. Okay. How are you preventing it? This is accountability. This is so empowering. You are accountable. Love this. Living epic, loving it. Now we're going to go on to question 3. You might have more to write. That's fine. You can do this. Number 3. What needs to shift? What actions can you take to change it? This is a what. What needs to change? What can you do to change it? What do you need to change in order to live your extraordinary life? That life you dream about. The one you live in faith that you're going to get to. What needs to shift? What actions are you going to take to change it? Hi, Catherine. Good to see you, babe. Just answering some questions. This question number 3, what needs to shift? What actions can you take to change it? Are about what does an extraordinary life look like for you? What does an extraordinary life look like for you? How are you preventing it? What's preventing you from making it happen? And number 3 is what needs to shift? I'll type these in the chat for you. What actions can you take? Get these questions down so you can make this a monthly practice. See where you're shifting, see where you're getting better. You know, this could be journal questions every month for our business. Yes, what action can you take now to change this? Yes, thanks, babe. Absolutely. Right now. Face the fear. Face that fear. Love it. That's the energy. That's the energy. And as we move into a different movie, we'll move into a new question. 4, what action can you take right now? Yes, it's like you read the question's mind. What action could you take right now, today? Are you thinking, oh, it's the last day of the month, I'm going to chill now, I'm not going to reach my goals? Fuck no. I enrolled a new brand partner today. Who's going to enroll a new brand partner today? Who's going to sell a ULT for the cleanse today? Who's going to get organized and set up a meeting with their sponsor or upline to talk about how they're going to crush next month? What action are you going to take right now? How can you make your extraordinary life happen? What can you do now? I think this is in Braveheart. What would Braveheart do right now to defend his country from the British? Us. Oh, God. Some of you might have already got this specific in the last question. It's fantastic. What can you do right now? Okay, so you all know what you're going to do as soon as we come off the call. Grand. We're going to move to question 5. What are some of, I can't spell, some of the most stressful thoughts in your life? What are some of the most stressful thoughts in your life? What triggers them? And what does it make you feel or do? This surprised me when I answered this. I was like, damn, I'm not healed. I've got stuff to do. What are some of the most stressful thoughts? Is it about money? Is it about relationships? Is it about fear of never being enough? Is it worrying about your children? Is it worrying about your weight? Is it about comparison, the thief of joy, judgment? What stresses you out? Don't mind. And what triggers that? And then how do you react to that? How do you feel? And what actions do you take when you're triggered? You have to get good at stopping that. It's tough. Some of them are stressful. Catherine said she prays when she feels triggers. That's much better than to act on your triggers. Remember again, fear and faith are both made up. So choose. And this could come down to that question I asked last week. If you're always focusing on what's missing, how can you maintain happiness? Do you focus more on what you have or what you don't have? Habits of focus. Get really habitual on the good stuff that you focus on. Make it a habit.
He's doing it now.
My name.
That's amazing, Catherine. That awareness that you now have about acknowledging it instead of reacting on it impulsively like we do before we have time to figure out what it is. Take immediate action on your self-care. Yes. Little moment of the trigger. Smoke a joint. Kevin, I used to do that. I still do it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really good that you're figuring it out though, because cannabis, like food, mine's when I'm stressed, I eat. More just numbing.
England, but then it would just make me like stop working.
You're so brown.
Oh,
Yeah. Weak and she's brown. Do not allow it to draw you out of the present. Amazing self-yes. Action of self-care. That's beautiful. Thank you. That's great advice. Action of self-care. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate everyone being honest. Cigarettes, food, vegan cookies and pizza. Fuck yeah. Mine is I'll have a joint and then allow myself to eat all of the junk food I want. I'm like, I deserve a treat. But in actual fact, it's just me being uncomfortable. Yeah.
I was doing that in England bad.
Dog cuddles.
Oh,
Dog cuddles and cannabis. Nothing wrong with that.
sounds like a match made in heaven.
Molly, it seems like we've triggered you with our answers. Yeah, you know? It's like, shit, wait, that's self-sabotage? Yes, it is. Okay, I'm really glad that everyone like knows. So here's the key thing. It's the most dramatic music of all time. What would be a more empowering alternative? What would a more empowering alternative be? A better thought to have. So the thoughts that triggered when we're triggered, that we have, What's that thought that leads you to go for the cannabis, that leads you to go for the junk food, that leads you to go
Fear of facing.
fear of facing reality? So, yes. What's a more empowering alternative? What's a more empowering alternative? A better thought to have. So when you're triggered, what are you going to do instead? What's your new dedication to yourself? This is going to make you a better human, business owner, leader, mother, wife, husband, brother. It's going to be amazing. So when we are triggered, what would a more empowering alternative be, or a better thought to have? Yes, Molly, exactly. Go outside and take some deep belly breath. Breathing is amazing for calming the nervous system, because obviously when we're triggered, speaking of triggers and stress, what a tune. Yes, exactly. One of my favorite movies. Very dramatic.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah. It's all about heroin.
Self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, workout is always really
Workout,
good.
yoga, jumping jacks.
Yeah.
I punch shit. Pillows, nothing hard. Because there's that energy, that rage. I get rage. Breath work, meditate. But sometimes if we're triggered really quickly in the moment, like in a heated argument, what about then?
Shaking.
Yeah. Just the reading. It's true. This is all going to help us reach that goal to get us to where we want to be. That nirvana in our head, that extraordinary life that we desire so much. We can reach there when we learn to handle our triggers, build a new emotional home, like I talked about in last week's one. There's some really great questions if you guys weren't on last week's. We got real deep, real honest with ourselves. The music wasn't as epic as this week.
Can I share something?
Please.
I think I thought of this the other day, and then I saw someone made a reel on it as well. And it's like, listen to yourself whenever you have these thoughts, like these negative thoughts, write it down, and then write your own positive affirmation for that negative thought, so that whenever that thought comes, you've got that affirmation ready to be like, boom.
That's amazing. So catch yourself. Chloe said, catch yourself. As soon as that thought comes in, write it down. What is it? What is it that comes up? Is it a self-hate thought? Is it hating someone else? Is it judging? Is it like that, thing where you give up, like, fuck it, I can't do it? Write it down and make a positive affirmation around it. If you want help figuring out that affirmation, I'm sure Chloe is amazing at them. She can help you reword it into something that's going to be good for you. Ooh, yes.
It really does help. It kind of makes you feel like a crazy person, because it's like you're having an argument with yourself, but it's good.
I'd rather that. I mean, we are a little bit crazy until we understand ourselves better. So that's what Tony is teaching us. And next week, I'm going to go into a whole new section of Tony training. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, we had 4 days of 12 hours of this, and it was very emotional. I am affirmations. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope this has helped you to hone in a little bit more on your emotional system within, because when we can master the internal world is when we master our external reality. This is truly just starting to figure out. Yes, Sam, mirror work is great. I want to end this one. I know it's the last day of the month. A lot of us are running. So I wanted to keep this one short. I want to end with a beautiful gift of a kind of a visualization exercise that Tony gifted us. It's similar to the heart-brain connection. I need to change the music for this. I'm getting in it. It's absolutely stunning. Okay, we're going into Gladiator. I want us all to, I'm going to come off my screen, resume share. I want us all to put our hands on our heart, close our eyes down, take some big breaths through the nose, out the mouth, just to cleanse. We've done some big digging work, and now I want us to focus on some things that bring us so much joy. So I want us to focus now with our hands on our hearts on the most beautiful moments that you have ever experienced in your life, like a collage. I want you to see them brighter than you've ever seen them. Feel the feelings that you felt. I want you to hear what sounds were around you. Who were you hearing? Who were you with? Do you remember how beautiful that moment was? Do you remember how you felt and your heart was exploding out of your body? 3 of the most beautiful moments. They could be your mom hugging you. Just the most beautiful hug you've ever felt. What about the time you experienced true love? The first time in your life you realized that you were truly in love with someone else. And the feeling that brought you. True love, the first love of your life. The love of your life you have now. Just how much gratitude you have for that person in your life. And the most sexy time you've ever had. The best, it may not have even been sex, but it took you to those levels that you didn't even know were real, like absolute ecstasy. Relive that best sexy moment of your life. Do you remember that? Oh, absolute ecstasy, joy, paradise. Absolute bliss, the most blissful collage of moments of your life. Meaningful, incredible, life-changing, most life-changing moment, a pivotal day, moment, time, where you thought that you could do anything in that moment. You realized that you could do anything. Luxuriate, build, amplify these moments. Feel the goosebumps in your skin as you remember that life is so fucking worth living. We are blessed with these moments. We can just tap in. Luxuriate in them, make them bolder. Remember that smile that person gave you? That time you felt accepted? When you just realized you were sitting with your favorite people, not doing much, but you had so much love for this very moment. The moment you realized that you've done something you never thought you could do. That you pushed through something that was so scary to you and you made it out the other end and you were still alive. Maybe the time your child was born. The time someone held your hand and looked into your eyes and said you were the most incredible human I've ever met. I'm so blessed to know you. That time you kissed someone and there were fireworks, explosions. There was nothing else but you and that person. The time you decided you weren't going to be a victim anymore. You could see yourself living that extraordinary life. You know it's done. You're already there. But when you focus on these moments, there is no darkness anymore. Because this is a choice. Ecstasy. You're so fucking worth it. You're here for a reason. You have so much to give. Don't ever give up on yourself. There are so many people who look to you as their beacon of hope, who their lives would be so much worse if you weren't in it. You light up people's lives. You enhance people's lives, and sometimes you forget. But when you tap into your heart and these memories and that feeling of utter ecstasy, you remember why the fuck you're here. Nothing's gonna stop you. You're gonna do it. Whatever it is that you want, you know you can fucking do it. Nothing's out of reach for you. You are worthy, deserving, and good enough of everything that you want on this earth. And now I want you to open your eyes. See the world with fresh eyes. See the world with those fresh eyes, remembering those fucking moments where life was so worth everything you've been through for. Remember who you are, what you can do, and that to tap into this place is only a few moments away. You're always accessible here. Touch your heart and remember that you are so loved, so needed, and so adored every second that you are here. So don't give up that for anyone. Don't listen to anyone else. This is all you, and you've got us, you've got your tribe, you've got the people who love you. Thank you, each and every one of you, for existing and being here and spreading your individual magic. We love you so much. And I hope that you'll take this away and you learn something about yourself, and you can take this into April and you can just remember that you're a fucking warrior and you're going to achieve everything that you ever wanted. And this is something that we can all do together. So I love you all so much. Thank you for coming to this beautiful mindset tool. It's not the same without you guys. And we're just going to storm into the rest of this year with so much fire. I love you so much. And we'll see you very, very soon. Bye, angels.
Bye.